Welcome. It is the third annual Army-Navy Trivia Challenge as we get ramped up for Army-Navy 2024. It's brought to you proudly by the Paramount Veterans Network. And this is a rubber match. In the short history of what's become an annual event, it is even Steven through the first couple of matchups, 1-1. Team Navy took it in a sudden death playoff just a couple of years ago. And last year, Army had its say a convincing 17-6 blowout. But the series is deadlocked. Who will come ahead and own true bragging rights for at least another calendar year? A refresher of the rules for those returning and an introduction for those new to us. Each round will have one member of Team Navy against one member of Team Army on a question. Whoever answers it correctly first wins that round. They get points for their team. Now, the questions are a bit of a mix. There's some general military knowledge, history, and awareness, and of course, some stuff related to Army-Navy football with the big game on hand. Before we get going, we want to get to know you. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, about your military service, and what you also focus on here at Paramount. So we'll get it going with Team Army. They are our reigning champs. And Will Gaucher, it is great to have you on again. I've also seen you in the TV truck, a two-time participant. If you would please share with us and our audience a bit about your background.
Yes, it's great to see you, John, and it's terrific to be here once again. I have to start off by saying, go Army, beat Navy. That will be the theme of today. But I'm Will Gaucher. I am an Army veteran, served 5 years as an infantry officer, and here with Paramount, I work with the Paramount Veterans Network, producing our Coffee with Veterans segments.
That's fantastic. Well, welcome back, man. Cody Lassiter, if you would please share with us a bit about your background in service and what you do at Paramount.
Hi, everyone. Go Army, beat Navy. I joined the Army in 2006. I exited the service in 2015. Two-time combat veteran of OIF, OEF, and OIR. Very proud of my military service, doing air defense. And at Paramount, I do content security, where I focus on the Taylorverse, including Yellowstone, Lioness, Landman, Mayor of Kingstown, and all the other shows that we currently do for him.
A kind thanks. Thank you for your service and for sharing. And Christian Dominguez, rounding up Team Army. What you got?
Yes, sir. First time caller, long time listener. Excited to be here. Actually, my military journey started in the Marine Corps, so I used to be Team Navy, but I wanted to set the precedence for today, and I switched sides to be on the winning team. So I joined the Army and I served 16 years over there, so 21 years total. Retired earlier this year from the reservist side. 4 deployments, and on the Paramount side, I helped run some of the application security.
Well, kind thanks, and a little bit of fire there too.
Going
to the other side. I love it, and thank you for your service on both ends of the spectrum. So let's go over to Team Navy. They have their own veteran among the veterans, Kevin Brown, 2023 participant. Welcome back.
John, thank you, and thank you for hosting this event. My name is Kevin Brown. I'm a Navy veteran. I was in the Navy from 2011 to 2015. Did a few deployments on the Washington aircraft carrier, as well as the USS George H.W. Bush. Here at Paramount, I am part of the global sourcing team.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Love the background, too. All of your backgrounds are pretty sweet. Continuing with Team Navy, let's welcome in and introduce Mike Johnson. How are you, Mike?
Good, John. Thanks for having me. I was in the Navy in the last century, so it's been a while. I had an amphibious assault ship, so carted around Marines and a couple of deployments, and also was at the Exxon Valdez oil spill cleanup. So currently I'm a manager at Nickelodeon, which is the other happiest place on earth, and happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Thank you so much. And rounding out Team Navy, let's welcome in Brunette Roming. How are you, Brunette? Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm pretty happy to be here for my first Navy Army trivia game. So I served in the United States Navy in 2000, year 2000 to 2004 active, and then from 2007 to 2009 reserve. During my time in the Navy, I served in Iceland as an information technician. So I supported NATO within the Mediterranean. So I got a chance to do a couple detachments over there. And then I was also detached to an Air Fighter Squadron VFA 34, which was detached to the George Washington at the latter part of my career. And then when I was in the reserve, I served out of the West Palm Beach location.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for your service. Thank you for sharing. And I love the interconnectedness, the teamwork going even beyond this trivia here on all fronts. Well, thank you. You guys know a little bit of the rules now. We got to know you. A reminder, have that chat box open. The first to put into the chat box will have a chance to enter an answer to a question and a chance to grab points for your team. So for round number 1, we're going to get things going, and it's going to be Will against Kevin. So Will and Kevin, you're on the clock for question number 1. The first one to hit me in the chat box has the chance to answer. Our opening question: when Army and Navy face off in college football December the 14th, how many meetings will there have been for these two rivals? And Kevin is in right away with the answer. What you got?
125th meeting.
That is correct. It did not even get to the multiple choice. He knew it right off the top, and that is a quick point early here for Navy. So Navy with the point right out of the gate. For question number 2 for this matchup of Will against Kevin. In the Paramount hit Yellowstone, Casey Sutton served in which branch of the military? You don't have to type in the answer. You can just type in that you want a shot to answer, and you can do it on mic. Which branch of the military? Will, what do you got?
I'm going to go with the Navy.
That is correct. It is the Navy. He was a Navy SEAL before returning back to his home in Yellowstone. That was in Montana. Our third question of this round: where will this year's Army-Navy game be played? Kevin.
Northwest Stadium, Maryland, home of the Commanders.
That is exactly right, and that's another point. Great job by both of you. Our first round is in the books. And a quick look at our initial scoring, a 2-1 advantage for Navy as things stand. For our second matchup, this will be Cody of Team Army against Mike of Team Navy. So Cody and Mike, get ready. Our first question: the United States military consists of how many branches? Cody.
6.
6, that is correct. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, and Coast Guard. Congratulations. Our second question: Army, Navy, and Air Force compete each year for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. Which service academy has won the most CIC trophies? Cody.
Air Force.
That is correct. Air Force with 21. Navy has 16. Army has 10. Army, though, has won or retained the trophy in 5 of the last 7 seasons. So they've had the heavy bragging rights of late. Let's go to our third matchup in this first round. This is going to be Christian with Team Army against Burnett of Team Navy. Your first question: according to the U.S. Census Bureau, what percentage of the adult population consists of veterans? Christian?
1%.
That is incorrect. Now, we do have multiple choice here. A, 4%, B, 6%, C, 8%, D, 10%. Burnett, what do you got?
I'm torn between 8 and 10. I'm gonna say 8%.
So she goes C, 8%. That is incorrect. It is B, 6%. But that's a really good guess. You're right there in the right neighborhood. That's a good guess. Our second question of this third matchup in the opening round. This one, I hope you guys got. Who won last year's Army-Navy game? Burnett.
I remember this. It was the Army, right?
It was Army 17-11,
I
and it was a
remember
thrilling finish, a goal line stand to close things out. So that gets us through our opening round. Take a look. It is tied up at 3. So we are 3-3 after round number 1. And I'm feeling the drama already. This might be a repeat of the overtime that we saw in the first ever clash. So tied at 3, we go on to round 2. And remember, everything doubles. Every correct answer this round is worth 2 points. So we're going to change things up. We'll go with Cody and Mike this time around. So Cody and Mike, be on the ready. Now, this one should be jumping out to both of you. There are 2 answers to this. What are the team nicknames of Army and Navy? The Army blank, the Navy blank. Cody, you're in first.
Black Knights and the Midshipmen.
That is exactly right. And that's another point for Army. Make that 2. Our second question of this round for Cody and Mike. John Glenn, the first American to orbit the Earth, served in World War II as a fighter pilot under which military branch? Cody.
Navy.
Under the
Navy.
Marine Corps with the Navy, yes. Our third question, of the 45 U.S. presidents, how many served in the military? There are multiple choice here. A, 29, B, 30, C, 31. Cody.
29.
That is incorrect. Mike, what do you got? You got a 50-50 shot here. B, 30 or C, 31?
31. See.
That is correct. And that's a couple of points for Team Navy. All right. Now we're going to move on in our matchups here in round number 2. We'll go to Christian against Burnett. So be on the ready. Christian and Burnett, you have a couple of questions. The first one, a little long. Which U.S. military base holds the largest amount of active military personnel? Christian.
I don't remember the new name. I would say Fort Bragg.
Formerly Fort Bragg, now known as Fort Liberty. That is correct. 48,000 active personnel, a base that spans 250 square miles. All right, our second question. What is the name of the Navy mascot goat? 10 seconds to either you want to take a shot. It is Bill. Bill the goat is the Navy mascot goat. All right, moving on. Let's go to Will and Kevin. All right, Will and Kevin, you have a couple of questions. Get ready. Name the cities where Army and Navy are located. I need both answers here. Kevin.
Army is West Point, New York. Navy is Annapolis, Maryland.
That is exactly right. And that's a big reason why Philadelphia has been the usual meeting ground, almost exactly midway between the two. Our second question of this Will versus Kevin matchup in round 2 for the final 2 points of this round. In what year was the United States Army founded? A, 1774, B, 1775, C, 1776, D, 1777. Kevin.
1775.
That is exactly right. June the 14th of that year, the Continental Congress adopted the New England Army of Observation, a united colonial fighting force. So that's part of that great history. And I'm really impressed. You guys have your P's and Q's here. This is a strong showing as we are through round 2. Guess what? We're tied. It's 9-9. You guys are directly even as we go on to the championship round. And this is where championships are won. These are 5 points per question. So a lot on the line here. And for each of you, it's going to be 1 question. We're going to start with Christian and Burnett. Be on the ready. Christian and Burnett, this is your 1 question in the championship round. And this has a bit of a Paramount feel. The Paramount hit SEAL team just completed its 7th season and series finale. What is the name of David Boreanaz's character on the show, the leader of Bravo team? It's a somewhat common name. Give it a shot. 5 seconds.
Gave it a shot.
It is Jason Hayes. Jason Hayes. All right, Will G and Kevin tied at 9. Big question here. The tradition of the Army-Navy game, the way it concludes, is incredibly emotional. It hits everyone all across the country when the service academies meet. The winner of the game, do they sing first or second? Kevin.
They sing second.
That is exactly right. They sing second. Win first, sing second. That's the common turn of phrase, and you can feel the emotional swell in the building after that first alma mater is done, and the whole group of players of both teams goes over to the other corner of the field, and that whole stadium goes to a whole new level of volume and energy. So that means there's a 5-point difference. Let's go into our final question of at least regulation. Will a tie be forged? Will overtime be had? Cody and Mike, you're up. It's on the line here. Who leads the all-time Army-Navy series? Cody.
Navy.
That is exactly right. Navy with 62 wins. Army has 55, and 7 times it has ended in a tie. So that's a big 5 points there taken by Army. So a huge 5 points in that championship round. And yeah, even here. So we have overtime. This has only happened once before. It's the 3rd ever edition of this trivia challenge, and overtime is coming again. So we're going to circle back to Christian and Burnett. There's a chance at redemption for both of you. This is winner take all. First one to get a correct question will win the whole darn thing. If there is no winner in this question, we'll move on to an extra overtime question. So this year's game, we learned earlier, will be held at the home of the Commanders in Landover, Maryland. Where will next year's Army-Navy game be played in 2025? Christian and Burnett. Christian? Where's it going to be, Christian?
Lambeau Field.
That is incorrect. Burnett, you have a chance to win it for Team Navy. Where is next year's Army-Navy game? It is, I believe, the 2nd most common meeting place. I'm not positive about that, but I know it was there only a handful of years ago. Trying to win it for Team Navy. AT&T in Dallas, that is incorrect. It will be in Baltimore, in Charm City, at the home of the Ravens. That means we need another overtime question. So we have another chance at a sudden death scenario. And that means that Will G and Kevin will be up. So Will G and Kevin, be on the ready as we have another overtime question, a multiple overtime trivia handled here today. And you can feel the weight, the energy, the suspense. It's been a proud scene to see the outstanding knowledge on display from all in getting to this point. Ooh, so this is a big one. The Army and Navy are defined over the last few decades by option football. They pound on the ground like few teams in major college football. Many times they are 1 or 2 in the nation in rushing. Which team has had the most rushing yards in Army-Navy game history? So these two running powers, who has run for more? Will?
50-50 chance here, John. Everything on the line. You know, I'm going to go with the Navy for the win.
It was Navy and Malcolm Perry with 304 against Army. That was in 2019. And we have a victor in double overtime as Will gets the answer in for Team Army. And Army, your champions, taking the rubber match. They take a 2-1 lead in the all-time series. A great job by all of you. Feel proud. Your knowledge, your pride was on fervent display. And kind thanks to all of you for your service and for being here. This is a great time. Yeah, point at that shirt. Show the pride, and they'll be showing it on the field as well. Thank you all so much for being here. Go Army, go Navy, go America, and the Paramount Veterans Network. Be well.